We're going to be talking about the subscapularis muscle. That's one of our rotator cuff muscles. It is one that tends to get overlooked. We focus more on the supraspinatus. That's the one that tends to get more injured more frequently. But the subscapularis, I feel, has a part to play in that as well. So whenever we are looking at shoulder, I always try to remember to look at the subscap. Couple different ways that we can stretch it, one of which I like to use what I call the stick stretch. We use a stick. This one has a rubber stopper at the bottom just to give us some extra traction, which is really good. We don't want the stick to slide. So what I usually do for the subscapularis, especially if it's on one side more than the other, I'll target that one side. I'll have, say my left arm is the one that's hurting. I'll have the left hand high, right about shoulder height. Right one comes up right underneath it. What I do is I sit towards the front of the chair. I move the stick, the bottom of the stick, out away from me. So the stick starts at a slight angle. What I want to do is kind of estimate where I'm going to be when I finish the motion, and the stick should be straight up and down at that point. So when I move the bottom of the stick out, I'm going to be focusing on the shoulder, on the subscapularis. It also stretches like the rhomboids and some of the other scapular muscles as well, but it does give a good stretch to the subscapularis as well. So from here, all we're going to do is we're going to lean forward. As we lean forward, we're starting to get a nice little stretch. We want that stick to be pretty straight up and down when we're out here at the end here. I usually take a nice deep breath in. Relax it out. Try to go maybe a little bit more if we can. And a second breath in and out. It's usually right around 10 seconds, and then we can come back up. On the way back up, I'm usually pushing with the other arm to kind of help me back up. Trying to relax the side that hurts or is tight. So when we're down here, that arm is getting a really nice stretch through the subscapularis, also through the rhomboids and some of the other scapular muscles, serratus anterior, things like that. So this is a really nice stretch. We can also focus it a little bit more. So I was saying that my left side is hurting a little bit more. I can actually move the stick to the left or to the right to get a stretch better on the left. And that gives a really nice stretch through the left shoulder, even into the upper thoracic. If I wanted to hit the right side more, I'd switch hands and I'd go to the other side, go to the left to really get a nice stretch on that right shoulder. And that gives a really nice stretch through the subscap, shoulder muscles, rhomboids, things like that. So that's another one that I like to do. The stick stretch can also be used for lumbar, but instead of sticking the base of the stick out away from us, you actually bring it in towards your feet. You would lock your heels together, either in a V or an L, T formation, whatever you want to do. The base of the stick goes right in the crux of the feet there. Last thing in the world we want is for that stick to slide through. So make sure those feet are together. That's one of the other reasons we have that stopper at the bottom. They can do the same stretch, but now, because the stick is in, as you come forward, you're getting a little bit of a traction type pull as well through the low back. So it's a nice flexion stretch for the low back, also a traction stretch for the spine, feels really good. And again, you can go to one side, hit more the right side paraspinals, multifidi, or go to the other side, hit more the left side. So those are two options for the stick. The one out far is for the shoulder, the one in close to your feet is for the lumbar.